Hello chat, today I'm responding to a video regarding me about a drama that has happened for the 10th time. For those who are completely puzzled, I have some beef over an anthropomorphic character I have in which the YouTuber Felix Kurtz made a video describing the entire situation. With that, I'm going to be reviewing this video and then going over an overview of how false the information is. So with that, let's get started.
What's up guys, it's me, Felix Kurtz, back with a brand new video. Today we are going to be covering the anti-animator versus anti-furry situation. So without wasting any time, let's get into it. First of all, what is going on? Basically there's been a bit of a drama developing between two groups. Anti-animator, a self-described normal 18-year-old flip-a-clip animator and commentator who is known for his heckin' wholesome, and family-friendly Christ-pilled commentary where he predominantly fights with NSFW creators, and the anti-furries, who I think you already know who they are.
Family friendly? I have some Christian values, but in no circumstance would I say I'm family friendly, as I've covered many topics regarding my opinion of how bad NSFW is, groomers, and just lots of other bad things I've had to talk about. I also find it a bit cringe how you try to sound funny with the words hecking based, as if there wasn't already a reason I couldn't take you seriously. But I don't know, maybe you might disappoint me more as I continue viewing this.
But it should be mentioned that not all people on the anti-fur side are anti-furs. I just call them that because most are, or at least support the anti-furries. Before we get into what is currently happening between these two groups, I think it would be wise to explain what has happened so far, as this drama has actually been about a year in the making if you really think about it, so let's do that. It all starts about a year ago, when Anti-Animator made a pretty flamboyant exit from association with the Anti-Furs, with him announcing a Anthro OC by the name of Lucy, and in the same post that he announced this OC, he attached an Incredibles gif mocking the Anti-Furs.
Now I'm just going to show a picture, because that one looks like dog shit. And secondly, I was not mocking them. This was a joke because if you already know, the anti-furry community has become a shithole.
The anti-furries were obviously not really happy about this, as the OC was an anthropomorphic animal, and well, they're anti-furries. They don't really like anthropomorphic animals. But another thing is that Anti-Animator used to goon to this said OC, and even had her as his imaginary girlfriend in fact. No, I am not kidding, I am being 1,000 times serious.
And I'm being 1,000 times serious that people care about some shit that happened 4 years ago when I was a minor. I no longer deal with that because I am an adult and you guys decide to make it into a pointless drama.
On top of this, he, when he made his exit from association with the anti-furs, made 3 videos trying to call out and go after 3 of the anti-furries' most popular figures. Swore, aka Your Mall, CEO of Trolling, aka Polish internet troll, and a guy by the name of Anton Drakov.
Tried? I criticized CEO of Trolling and he responded, in which I responded back to him again. After that, he just said I was milking the drama and never refuted my claim. Anton Drakov was being a big nuisance to lots of people and harassed them non-stop as well. He even went to call someone a furry over a profile picture of a Pokemon, in which now he's banned, and I don't even think many anti-furries liked him that much. Lastly, Swore, he's really just nothing. Like, all he does is bother people because I guess he has nothing else to do. I mean, he made a post taking something out of context when I was clearly rage baiting someone, but yeah, none of these people I can really take seriously. When it comes to all these people, they criticize me, but not for grooming allegations, not for doxing, but over a anthropomorphic animal that does not exist and will never exist. I've never had issues with grooming or doxing. I was just making a point of how these people really serve basically zero purpose on the internet, rather than to chase dopamine hits by engaging in their foolish acts.
This would lead to Ant and the anti-furs not being on the best grounds, with them having some rather tense relations, which has led to many dramas between them, with the anti-furs, especially, trying to point out some things that would paint Ant as still gooning to his Anthro OC, Lucy, as well as just generally trying to mock him, and Anti-Animator trying to call out several anti-furs, and on top of that making a video explaining why he sides with neither furries or anti-furs. One point of pressure that was pretty major was in July of 2025, when a group of anti-furs called the Restorianists made a series of videos on Anti-Animator, which now for whatever reason are deleted or privated, but when they were up, they were trying to expose Ant for numerous things.
Most of it was misinformation and out of context screenshots, which I already dealt with in my videos. The reasons they are private and theirs are private is because even they know now that this was a stupid drama. No one really gets anything out of something that happened in the past, and either way was just stupid. If even they don't care, it really speaks volumes of how the drama equates to nothing.
Mainly, the actions and stuff he allows in his Discord server, or the general negative ongoings of his spear. But, as you could guess, things have heated up as of recent. Why is that, you might be wondering? More stuff related to allegations that Ant the Animator is actually Ant the Gooninator, and him still being sussy with his Anthro-OC Lucy. Basically, Ant the Animator, a anti-degeneracy / anti-NSFW guy, made his Cord PFP cropped NSFW of his aforementioned OC Lucy in a poll, encouraging the viewer to let her teach them how to swim.
Lucy's my girlfriend.
I love Lucy. I am a wholesome Latinx from Mexico. And I love Lucy.
Oh god,
Oh my god. Oh my god. Lord. Oh god.
I'm holding back laughter, that's nuts.
Okay, buddy. Let's get some points straight here. Number 1. This is not NSFW or porn. The part where her chest would be is censored, and I feel as if they just added this huge line to make it seem as if it wasn't censored, when it was by default, basically tampering with evidence to make it look worse. For those wondering, this is the image, but please, don't have a seizure just because you saw some chest. 2. This takes inspiration from a scene of Chainsaw Man where Denji and Rezi, hopefully I said those names right, swim in a pool clothless. Now, I know this sounds weird, and maybe even as if it was taking an adult turn, but if you look into the symbolism, it's about a vulnerable moment of emotional intimacy and connection, not something lustful or pornographic. For you to ruin a scene like that, it's just the least to say abhorrent. And number 3, I didn't even ask for the art. It randomly came to me, but either way, as I just showed there, wasn't really anything weird purposely done behind it. Also, since I'm very much quote-unquote price-pilled, you would know that Genesis 2:25 says, "And the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed." Now, I know not everyone is Christian, and no, Lucy is not my wife, but the point here is, our natural state is literally being clothless. We came to the world like this, and being in a natural state does not immediately mean porn or anything lustful.
Even though it was cropped, the anti-furs picked up on the fact that it was NSFW,
Not.
and quickly called it out, because like, what are you gonna do when one of your group's biggest ops, who you think is secretly a legendary super gooner, just made his PFP cropped NSFW and effectively confirmed all suspicions?
Realistically speaking, they were the first ones to bother me and poke the hornet's nest. So in this case, they would actually be my ops. Remember, this drama started over them criticizing one of my characters, which is not used for sexual purposes and does not even exist.
The callouts quickly solidified many thoughts on the matter, with people saying, "I do it," or "We were right," and composts pointing out the PFP, and a YouTuber by the name of Grand Regent Tough 2025 joined the anti-furry side on the matter, with him making a post saying, "Ant the Animator, I feel like you have deceived us all," and then adding Scottish internet troll, a seasoned Ant the Animator hater and CEO of trolling, or as he is now called, Trollvision, saying that they were right. Ant has not responded for the most part, besides to Grand Regent Tough's post, where he replied to the pinned comment which was pointing out Ant's silence, specifically responding to the Lucy in a pool image exposal with, "Exposed what? A profile picture over a character? I am 100% aware you guys would see this. That's the exact point of a PFP. This is literal shit no one cares about." The previously mentioned Scottish troll then replied to Ant the Animator's comment, saying, green text format, "This is literal SNCA. Bud, you dumped your friends to goon to your imaginary GF, and not only that, you promote it. You evade the truth even after your friends called you out. If you make something on me, it just proves my point about you trying to deceive people." The Scottish troll fellow also said, And not to mention, as in the post, you embrace NSFW by putting it as your PFP. Doesn't matter if it's cropped. The original image is P.
Once again, the image is not sexual. However, I find it ironic how Scott says I betrayed my friends. If you know Grand Regent Tough, can't even take that name seriously, he used to be a great fan of mine in the past during the drama about Ukrainian femboy, which was also one of my first ever videos to blow up. He made a video praising me on an account of his that no longer exists. But during my drama with the Restoranist, he sided with them and I warned them that they may betray him, and guess what? His server got raided by them. After that, he comes back to me and I forgive him, let him back into my server, only for him to now make a fool of himself once again. I also do not evade truth. I speak it out. You guys have taken many of my messages out of context, which by law would go under defamation. What type of quote-unquote gooner am I to have criticized NSFW multiple times? Not know how bad porn is for you? These people are addicted to porn. And that itself really can hurt someone's mental image and causing many other problems like forming relationships with others. A user who goes by multiple Russian words, or multiple Russian letters, has threatened me because I've decided I'm not sending him food or furry. Zoophilia is the sexual attraction to animals. Therefore, if you find attraction to it, it's zoophilia, even if it's anthropomorphic. Keep this in mind and add the fact that porn addiction can be tied with increased aggression and sexual behaviors that can harm others, especially with men arrested for domestic violence or sexual crimes. I don't have that issue anymore. I'm just trying to stop its spread because I dislike how much damage the porn industry has done to the world. There are specific studies that say porn perverts your mind's perception of a woman. So what in your right mind thinks the same can't be with animals and furry? Do not forget that both porn addiction and bestiality are known to be both caused by broader antisocial and psychological disorders.
Closing thoughts. This conflict between Ant and the Anti-Furs has been around 1 year in the making, with both sides fighting off and on since Ant the animator flamboyantly disassociated with them. But now it seems like it is going to come to a close, as the Anti-Furs have seemingly gotten the piece of evidence they need to put the final nail in the coffin of Ant's reputation once and for all, and prove that he is not a trad, Christ-pilled, wholesome, family-friendly, inclusive creator with a nice Discord server, but a hypocrite who loves Lucy. Or maybe not, as this drama has effectively had events like this, which have fizzled out rather quickly for as long as it has been happening. So maybe this will be like all the other times and nothing will ever happen. The real moral of the story is, do not look at tall furry women or else you will end
And somehow you mess up the drawing on me. Jesus freaking hell, man. Now, closing thoughts for me on this topic. My series has not even yet been finished, and I'm still clearly working on it. So for these anti-furries to get mad over this is just once again really stupid. I also even had a friend of mine who's an anti-furry tell me I'm solely teasing the character, so of course I'm going to talk about them often, which on a fair note is a good point. I also see, Felix, you were in Hello Guys 7's server, which if you were angry over art like that, just know he used his art too for one of his video thumbnails, right? Yeah, the same guy who made the Lucy art made one of Hello Guys 7's thumbnails. How shocking. One last point is, Swore and the other trolls as they do, are trying to call me a gooner over my preference for tall women. That's literally it. I'm not even going to say anything else other than this because someone with common sense already knows I'm not doing anything wrong. But if you are trying to ruin my reputation for me liking the female gender, that's just really sad. To the viewers who have heard me describe the drama over and over and over again, I'm sorry, but I don't stand for misinformation as we all know, so I will commentate. With that, Ant out.